To those that live in Italy, how is the situation right now with coronavirus and lockdown? I have a daughter living in Toronto, but she works in Milano. She is housebound, on lockdown. Her courses are being done via Skype. Her employer has asked her not to come to work. She is not allowed to leave her house, unless it is an emergency, which I hope never happens. She says there has been quite a bit of panic buying at the supermarkets. All the restaurants are pretty much empty, however they are allowed to be open between 6 AM and 6 PM. People who are seated should have at least a 1 meter distance between them at restaurants. Tourist areas, for example Duomo in Milano, are devoid of almost anybody. All school and universities remain closed. All sporting or any kind of events have been suspended. Ski resorts are closed. The same for cinemas, theaters, discos. All church services have been suspended. Whilst the measures may seem extreme, Italy has been the hardest hit worldwide besides for China, so it's necessary to curb travel and cultural activities to stop the spread of the virus. Currently watching a university lesson from my bed, but my father went to work this morning. I'm in a region where the lockdown started officially today, so it's all pretty new. Let's hope people don't storm the grocery stores. I live in Verona. I'm a 19 years old living alone because my mother and my father took it in Milan, and for the first time I'm home alone for a month. Pretty nice though. I play GTA 5 with my friends like the old days, doing some indoor workout and experimenting with cooking. I'm becoming a good chef. The school is quite annoying but it's okay. I wake up at 7:30 and at 8 AM I start a 5 hours straight in front of my laptop for online lessons, and then I go cooking my lunch. I don't go out, if not to buy some food and maybe some cigarettes, because the situation it's not good. There is no space left in the intensive therapy, so if I get really sick, they would have to remove someone to save me, since I would have better chance of surviving. This is why I almost never go out. Once a week. I don't want to be the reason for someone's death. I'm a university student, and since last week we have been doing lessons via Microsoft Teams or Google Classrooms. I don't really like these methods, but it's the only alternative. So, there's a fair amount of psychosis between a big chunk of the population. Supermarkets have been raided overnight. We are advised to not leave our houses unless it's necessary, but you can fill a form on your own to certify that you need to go to work. So basically everyone is running around without a real examination of that form, because literally anyone can do that. The only thing that has been really impacted by this is nightlife and sports, since every league of every sport is suspended until April. I'm a nurse student in Italy. Right now I can't go to the university. I can't go to work. We shouldn't go out unless it's a necessity. So basically we need to stay home and finally finish our Netflix list. It may sound pretty cool for the first few days, but after a while it gets pretty depressing and boring. I got so bored that I cleaned everything at home. I live in the heart of the Lombardy region. All my family has it, and my granduncle died. People just stay home and that's it. There is not much to do, and shops are closed. You can hear ambulances all day and night. My uncle is in the hospital with a high fever. His wife got it as well, but she is home as her symptoms are milder. My cousin is taking care of her, and miraculously she is fine. However, her grandpa died, and she couldn't even go to visit him. Her grandma is sick as well, and she can't see her either, and she can't see her dad. Hospitals are closed. The available hospital beds in intensive care have run out, and doctors are making tough choices for who to try to save, which is terrifying considering most of my family is old, and they might not get a bed. Doctors are overworked and tired, and since I know many people that work in the hospital, they are sharing with me these gruesome pics of people recovered in the intensive care unit. They are intubated and it just is a sad view. Hospitals are so full of people on life support. Because of coronavirus, people are amassed on the corridors because they lack rooms. My friend who gets people with the ambulance is working non-stop to get people who are in critical conditions. People keep saying it's just a flu. Yes, sure, but a flu without having had a vaccine can be quite dangerous. The youngest person I know that has it. He is in his 40s and has had 40 degrees Celsius temperature for 2 weeks straight and counting. Don't catch it. It's really not fun, even if your immune system is strong. Trust me on this. I have seen the repercussion on my family firsthand. No church is open or public event is held. Since Italy is primarily populated by old people, we are used to see the streets being empty and everything being quiet. Right now is just quieter. They couldn't even hold the funeral for her grandpa. My grandma woke up sick, and I truly hope she has something else. So many people in my city have it, and yet they keep going around the city and spreading it. Incredible. Some people go to the supermarket and get out of it with tons of food, so that they don't need to go shopping again. Others, like my grandma, go every day because how else is she going to get fresh bread? Luckily we have convinced her that she cannot go anymore, and she said from tomorrow she won't leave the house. Just this Sunday she had to go to church to confess. The town priest has been taken to the hospital today because he catched coronavirus and he is in critical conditions. I wonder how this death count will go up now that the hospitals are overfilled. Rumor has it that my cousin's grandma got it because she was in the hospital being treated because she broke her back, but I can't be sure about this, so this is just our personal speculation based on no real evidence, so don't take my word for it. I'm Italian but live abroad. Currently my brother is in one of the high-risk zone in the north. He works at the university as a researcher. Today he went to work and the laboratory was empty. Starting from tomorrow the uni told him to stay at home and that the structure will be temporarily closed. He was planning an exchange with a laboratory in Ireland for April, but I think it's cancelled. He's worried of course and a bit bored too, but he understands that the situation is critical and that we have to give our contribution to avoid the spreading. My cousin is in Bologna where the situation is surreal. According to him, no one is on the streets and the supermarket got assaulted multiple times from people concerning that they would have run out of food, which is not going to happen since supplies are guaranteed. My parents live in a small city in the south where only 4 cases were registered in the entire region so far, so they are not much concerned, but they are taking precautions if the situation will get worse, and they are trying to stay at home when possible. Luckily their jobs are not at risk because my mother works in public administration and my father can work on remote. I live in Germany instead. Yesterday I went to a pharmacy and I could get a couple of face masks just in case. The ladies there understood from my accent I wasn't German, so they asked me where I was coming from. As soon as I said I was Italian they jumped away. I felt like I needed to specify I was living here and had no contact with Italy since December. That felt bad. Right now I'm in my office in Tuscany, 20 miles away from my home. This morning at 7 AM we hadn't any problem moving around, but I don't know how things will evolve outside my workplace. There are a lot of different informations about what you can and what you can't do from all the media, so I'm here hoping to not getting sick and still be capable at least to move to home tonight and maybe came back to work in the next days. Some say life goes on like always, others say everything is compromised. I'm just here, waiting for things to develop. I have friends in northern Italy quarantined in their homes, my mum in hospital working with face masks, and generally people freaking out. They say grocery shopping will be guaranteed, so overall I'm not even worried about it. Maybe is a chance to have some days off and enjoy my home and some games. Unrequested update is 6 PM. While working we got a document to show to police officers if we get stopped while going from a commune, something like US municipalities, to another. In this document we declare who we are and why we aren't in our home. You can move by car/bike/whatever if you have to meet your family, older people who need care, children and so on, or go to work. Every other reason is forbidden. Right now you still can go around the commune where you live without almost any problem. You only have to keep distance from people around you. Traffic is quite low compared to last week for example, but people still do their things. A lot of non-fundamental services are closed, but you can still go to a pharmacy, hospital, gas stations and big workplaces like industries. Social life is paused. Almost everything else is still active in my life. I'm a doctor who works at one of the largest hospitals in Rome. The situation seems much worse than reported in the news. We are scared, but we continue to go to work for a sense of responsibility by turning. We do not have suitable safeguards for our protection, such as FFP3 masks. Since yesterday night, every town is locked down. I cannot move 5 kilometers without a proper reason, work, or a relative very sick and so on. Otherwise I could get arrested. The government, immediately backed up by lots of celebrities, is basically saying please, stay home. Our emergency departments in the hospitals are collapsing. Literally, chemos or surgeries that are not urgent are being delayed. How's a chemo not urgent? Bars and restaurants can only open from 6 AM to 6 PM. It's been over a month that places where big number of people could meet have been closed. Discos, sports centers, clubs, schools, and universities. It's crazy. I'm 14 and live in Italy. It's not bad. I don't have to go to school, but I still have to do homework, but it's not too much. We will have virtual lesson this week. I have finally time to read Plato's Republic, and I can finally get better at doing the Rubik's Cube. I have a lot of free time, so I joined the Conlanging Discord to learn something new. This will last until the 3rd of April, and I'm really happy about it. South Italy here. I'm waiting for the virus to spread as in northern Italy, if not worse. A lot of idiots rushed south to their mommy after the government declared the region of Lombardy a red zone, and here the people seems to not understand the situation. Yesterday morning there were a lot of people strolling around not caring about what's happening. Yesterday night the Prime Minister declared all Italy red zone, and a lot of people rushed to 24/7 stores to buy food. I decided to stay at home for at least a week, but my parents and the parents of my friends are going around the city like it's not their problem. There will be another infection peak here in the southern Italy in a few days. I'm in senior year in high school. I don't know how it is in other countries, but here we have a final exam called Maturity. Currently we are organizing with our teachers to do online classes, and we have like zero information on how it will be our Maturity, because of the time we are losing at home. School aside, there's an order from the government that says that all the further pointless outgoes will be sanctioned by police. But for me, being a teenager, this is not so bad. I play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege, I do my homework, and I finally have some time to edit some videos or read the books I bought about video editing. It's quite brutal, if you ask me, but I understand the situation and I will cooperate with what my government decided. I'm a student who lives in Emilia-Romagna. Schools have been closed for 3 weeks. There is no one hanging out. Everyone is cooped up in their houses. NGL. This looks like a post-apocalyptic scenario. People are starting to have relatives with the virus. My aunt, for example, has the virus. In every town there are a few infected. We can't move from a town to another unless we have a specific permission. For example, we can if we have to go to work. Every day we use Google Meet to make online video calls with our teachers and classmates, so we keep studying and doing our programs, even if we are closed in our houses. Many people are terrified, while many are chilling way too much, especially in the southern regions, because the virus has just started spreading there, while here in the northern regions there are already thousands of infected. I'm in the Florence airport right now trying to get back home to the US. I've been living here for 6.5 months studying abroad. I was supposed to stay till June, but my study abroad program got suspended, and my student visa shortened. It's insane right now. And that's a massive understatement. I couldn't make it to the airport in time, cause Florence is in lockdown as of last night. No one is allowed to leave home, except to go to work. So you can imagine how difficult finding a taxi was. I missed my flight and spent 4 hours on the phone with United, F them, trying to get my flight rescheduled for the 3rd time. US study abroad students have been living at the edge of our seats. One email from the Italian gov suddenly changes everything. It has been a really stressful, chaotic, emotional couple weeks for both myself and my friends. Honestly, I just broke down in the airport because I was so frustrated, and I was definitely not the only one crying. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe.